Hello, Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to the Spiritual Medicine Digest for April 21st, 2025. And the theme for this week has to do with negative emotions and how you can make the most of them. In fact, that there may be benefits to having negative emotions. Wow, mind blown. Benefits, negative emotions. So you might be saying, Dr. Karen, are you nuts? I don't want to feel anxiety. I don't want to feel fear. I don't want to feel anger or overwhelm or any of that stuff. Like, what benefits are there? Okay, I get it. Uh, these emotions generally are very unpleasant. They're not pleasant to feel in the body, but definitely emotionally just not pleasant to entertain. And most of the time, what happens is we push them away. We pretend they're not there. We do everything we can but to feel them. We talked a little bit earlier this year around the difference between releasing emotions and actually feeling emotions. And sometimes you really do need to feel them. And there is something beyond this that I'd like to share with you that I feel negative emotions can actually be useful and beneficial in some ways. How? Okay. Now, some would say that when we have a negative emotion come up, especially those of us who are sensitive souls here in the room, right? When we have negative emotions come up, it could be an early warning signal. We're talking about the yin and yang of our experiences. So, is it good? Is it bad? Or is it both? Or neither? Right? So, our early warning signal could be that something is amiss here. This doesn't feel good. And depending on your body type, your blueprint, your human design, perhaps you might feel that, ugh, somewhere in your body if you are body aware. For example, my husband often feels it in his belly. He'll feel like a kind of not a cramp, but kind of a ugh feeling in his belly when he gets a no. This is something's off here, you know. Now, for you, it might be something completely different. And the early warning signal can be really helpful. The hard part is discerning, is there an overlay of your ego or a trauma, right? Then it's a little harder. If you get the because you have this pattern from the past it reminds you of, and therefore you get this when it might be a yay, in another circumstance when you're clear of that trauma. The other challenge is that, especially for those of us who have very open fields, um, is it even your stuff? Is the yours or not? But here's the benefit of feeling other people's stuff. You get to learn how to discern that it is or isn't your stuff. And if you are feeling somebody else's stuff, right, then you can actually figure out whether or not you need to do something about it for them, because maybe it's a loved one, a child, a parent, and you have a spiritual responsibility, or you choose to, if you're allowed, make a difference in their lives. Sometimes we're not allowed because they have to do their own work. Other times we have a very high spiritual responsibility and we end up doing work for a lot of people simultaneously. And no, generally we do not get cash for that. Okay. um, so sometimes we do have a role to heal the bigger. So sometimes we need to know what it is we're feeling, whose stuff it is, so we can go, is it my role to clear, heal it, optimize, whatever, or not? And if it's not, then that means, okay, should I check my boundaries? Are my boundaries stubborn? Do I have good energetic relationships with this other, right? Or is there something else that I need to heal within myself so I don't have to keep feeling this other thing I'm not supposed to have to feel? Right. So there's a lot of learning evolution and being able to discern at a very high level when you feel yucky or feel a negative emotion. And you get to learn, you get to be kind of an expert at it if you want to. That can be quite a challenge for many of us, for sure. But when you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty cool. It's pretty fun. I'll give you an example. So I might wake up one day and feel like kind of a shroud or a dark feeling within myself. Now, because I do stillness through observing internal movement like all day long, in and out of that all day long, I generally am very stable in my emotions as well. And I think probably my body type is very stable emotionally. And so when I'm feeling this shroud, this darkness, I don't automatically go, oh, it's my stuff. I have learned over years in trial and error to actually instead, because I know how stable I am most of the time and what is normal, quote unquote, normal, usual, natural for me, my first question often is it my stuff or whose stuff is it? And then I think the most common others stuff that I feel is mass consciousness. And that was pretty heavy stuff during the old, COVID days, right? Yeah, there was a lot of loss. There was a lot of fear. I mean, it was crazy town. And even though it didn't affect me personally in the ways that it did other people, there were some dark days. And I thought, I don't think this is my stuff, right? And was able to divine muscle test very quickly. Nope, not my stuff. Okay, good to know. Am I allowed to heal or clear it for the other before optimizing my boundaries? If I get a yes, I go ahead and do that clearing, healing for, in this case, mass consciousness. And fascinatingly enough, within minutes, I feel completely back to normal. So it's kind of cool, right? To know how to do that and how easy and quick it is to discern. So that's the benefit of a negative emotion, is that we get to hone our healing skills, hone our discernment skills. Now, there's another benefit. Okay, there's another benefit of having or feeling negative emotions. A lot of things, because it's uncomfortable, we want to push away and we don't want to feel, right? I get all that. However, when we actually honor and let's say allow ourselves to feel it in the body in the moment, not only does it pass a lot quicker or very, very, very quickly, the fuel that is generated in the feeling of it, not pushing it, not resisting it, not reacting to it, but literally just being with it in the being state, in the so-called negative emotion, there's energy there. And you can use that energy for creation. Yes, what you do desire. Now, this was not that obvious to me. I was training at my Light Warrior training camp at the Omega Institute. This was pre-COVID, quite a while ago. And we have this specific exercise where, let's just say that my staff and we distract purposefully with all sorts of interesting, tactile and auditory and visual things. We distract the participants during their stillness exercise. Okay. And some of it, loud sounds, different things, annoying things. One of the participants said, you know what, I took whatever that was, feeling in my body, and I just kept focusing even harder on my ideal reality, what I wanted to create. And in fact, that energy in my body from the emotion was like fuel. Like it was like, even like creating more of what it is she desires rather than detracting from it. And I was like, that is super cool. I'm going to borrow that. That's really cool. Yeah. And it's actually true. It's actually true. If we are willing to, first of all, accept so-called negative emotions, it's just part of the human experience, right? Helpful to discern whether it's yours or not, whether you should heal it or not, and get your boundaries straight, right? You can do that with TOLPAKAN healing or other healing modalities. And then if you choose to, you can then go, oh, wow, perhaps Wow, I have this anger feeling. It's reminding me of this trauma or, whatever is going on. I'm feeling indignant about something, right? You can literally go to consciousness and go, I'm just going to actually feel this in the body purposefully, consciously. Feel the anger, feel the irritation, feel the annoyance, feel the resentment, right? Instead of having it up here and in your mind going blah blah blah, well she did this and I did this and she, that kind of garbage. Bring it into the body and feel what that feels like in the body. Sometimes it can be a lot more intense than you might think, other times not so much. Allow yourself, and if you are worried about it, this is brand new practice, you're like, I don't know, Dr. Karen, right? You can always set a timer. I recommend 3 minutes or less, and then go for it. Go for it. Just going, well, I'm just going to feel resentment right now in my body. Okay. Woo. Okay. It's kind of tight here. And I feel like a little stone like in my stomach, I'm making stuff up, but you know what I mean? And just be with it. The being is the magic. That's when stuff materializes, more of what you desire, less of what you don't desire. And you can use negative emotions as fuel for your positive manifestations if you're just willing to be human, to be here and now, to be in the body. And like I said, you can always set an alarm clock or a timer and just fully be for no more than 3 minutes. And then you can just go, okay, I'm done. Now, I got to tell you, the times that I've gone, and oftentimes, that was a while ago, but, the times that I've done in the past where I didn't set a timer and I thought, I'm really angry about something. And I thought, well, I'm not going to pollute my home with any of those energies, right? And I have to clear it later. So I went outside and I thought, oh, this is great. Nature can take all of that and transmute. That's just awesome. So I'm outside and I'm talking to my angels and the forest fairies and whoever, right? I'm like, okay, gonna do a little rant. So just gonna like let you know, heads up, right? Here it comes, right? So, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna do this rant. 10 minutes. I'm going to do this 10-minute rant. I'm thinking 10 minutes isn't too long. So I'm out there and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then he did blah. And then I did blah, blah, blah. And, and I'm so angry. I lasted less than 2 minutes. I mean, I was like, I'm done. Yeah, I feel pretty good right now. Because I just allowed myself to feel angry. It wasn't hurting anyone. It wasn't like killing anything. I think the nature spirits probably laughing their butts off, but so it's like, oh, that's funny. Look at her. And I'm just like, wow, it's really hard to totally be in that vibration and stay there because it starts to move, it starts to transmute, it starts to shift. So I would love to know in the comments whether or not you are willing to do that experiment and work. I highly recommend that you do it on your own, alone, perhaps in nature, a little safer that way. So somebody doesn't, think that you need to go to the loony bin, right? And experiment with stone for negative emotions. That is a subchapter in my book, Sensitivity is Your Superpower. And use the stillness through observing internal movement and feel the negative emotion in your body. So the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation for today is really just focused on being in the body. And let's go ahead and heal or clear whatever is preventing you from being willing to and able to be fully here, full now. So it's more of a general TOLPAKAN healing directive today. So if you want to, you can close your eyes. You can just go ahead and feel the body, just be fully present. And if you are happening to feel a negative emotion, go ahead and feel it in the body. What does it feel like in the body? I'll do the directive rather. I now command anything preventing you from being fully willing and able to be fully present body, mind, and spirit in the now, be healed and resolved in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where you exist, where allowed with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. Just take a breath in and out. Open your eyes if your eyes are closed. Oh, I got very relaxed. I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and put in the comments. How did this activation feel? How did this discussion feel about the benefits or the upside of feeling negative emotions, and whether you've thought of it already in the past, and what have you done? What have you found helpful? I'd love to know. Yeah. Put it in the comments, and hope to see you in the light medicine community in the near future. Remember to say hi and tag me and introduce yourself if it is your first time in the community. All right. Until next time, much love. Bye for now. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it resonated with you. And if it did, would love for you to click like, subscribe, and perhaps even share it with someone you love and who could really use this message as well. And feel free to also click the notification bell so every time I do a new video, you will be notified. In the meantime, I would love to connect with you in my Light Medicine community. It's a private community where sensitive souls get together, we share stories, we love and support each other, and it's a beautiful, safe space. I absolutely love it. And remember, when you first come in to introduce yourself, I'll put the link below, as well as this week's amazing and exciting offerings and announcements. I'll see you in the community.